done. They had no choice. But then after we stopped being colored, we became African American, and then we became complacent and non-confrontational, and we became extremely safe. And so now in our safe ways, and in our safe mindsets, and in our safe homes, with our safe 42-inch plasma screen televisions, and with our safe microwave dinners, and with our safe BMWs that we're parked in our safe gated communities, we have forgotten about Third Ward. We have forgotten about Sunnyside. We have forgotten about Barbara Jordan and Wheatley High School and Worthing High School and Jack Yates High School has went from sugar to shit in 0.6 seconds. Because we're safe. And we have decided that instead of actually going out on a limb and making a sacrifice for somebody else, I'm just going to stay my safe black ass in my house, and I'm going to let everybody else worry about those problems, because now I'm good. I've made it. I have overcome. So I'm going to do a poem that I wrote to our president, Mr. Barack Obama, who has disappointed me thoroughly, walking a very safe fence, because he has forgotten that it was the grassroots movements, and it was a very precious man named Martin King who actually stepped on a few heads and was standing on the shoulders of somebody else who got him where he is. So it's called Dear Mr. President. Dear Mr. President, I am not your biggest fan, but I can appreciate you giving American citizens the audacity to hope again. Unfortunately for us, we're still waiting to see the unseen happen. Too bad our grassroots movements weren't dug deep enough. I'm not a naive citizen. I understand that you are America's face to the world. You are the front man, a corporate logo, and there are forces working behind the curtain. I am also aware that there are two Americas now. There is the United States of America, home of the free, land of the brave, and then there's corporate America, home of the thief and land of the slave.
Spit poet.
Only place in the world where an actor can obtain such an influential position and then hand the people over to Wall Street with a smile. Tell me this, Mr. President. When did it become okay to be safe? I thought you would have shown your true self by now. Or maybe the reflection I'm seeing on the National Mall is not something I want to digest. I was hoping through you, the world would come to know and understand how it feels to be a colored me. Too bad you're too scared of being colored and quite content with being an African American.
Come on, boy.
You know what the elders say. It was colored folks who got shit done. All African Americans want to do is sit down and debate. I watched the Republicans gain control over Congress again. Gerrymandering is what politicians call it. I say they use you to show us how incompetent colored folks are. And they're laughing at that gun club meeting saying, see, I told y'all the nigga good for us taking a dive. And boy know damn well he couldn't run a country. Can't wait for him to take his black ass back to Illinois. But that sweet little bitch kid can come sit right here on my lap. Ain't that right, Earl? Do you not become outraged at how you're being manipulated? Or have lobbyists and CEOs thrown enough money at you that they've killed your conscience? What is this I hear about the Corrections Corporation of America and a report tracking colored kids from the cradle to the prison to the grave? I feel sorry for you, Mr. President, because you are us, and rich folks will never let you see another term. I just hope for Sasha and Malia's sake that you become audacious enough to stop being African American and start being colored. Sincerely, a citizen of the United States of America, hoping to become your biggest fan. I think that's probably one of the most controversial things I've ever written in my life, because I got a lot of backlash from colored people. It's like, how you gonna say that about Obama? Yeah, brother, we put him in office. Well, this brother just signed his bill. Now, you know these kids are smoking this new stuff. You've heard about this, right?
Yeah.
It's called Serenity.
Yeah.
They go and they buy it in convenience stores. It's labeled potpourri, incense, not for human consumption. And so it's this 5 chemicals that somebody in a lab has put in a bag that has created this alternative to marijuana. We don't know what 5 chemicals they are. We don't know what type of effect or adverse effect it's going to have on our young people's minds. So now the president has said, you know what? This is illegal. But I'm going to classify it in the same category category as heroin. So when these young black boys and young black girls and young brown-skinned boys and young brown-skinned girls go into the convenience store and they get it within the next 30 days, they're going to get a felony for buying something that was made and manufactured in a factory. Because now it's about the prisons, the Corrections Corporation of America. They have a direct link to our government. They paid people in Arizona to say, look, this is the bill that we need to write. We're going to get these immigrants and we're going to build these corporations. So if we build these corporate prisons, we need people to put in them. So let's go ahead and make this immigration issue a thing of the past, and now if they caught without an ID, we just go ahead and ship them off like cattle into these cement buildings that we're privatizing, that we're making money off of. It takes more money to house a person in prison in a year than it does to send a person to college. But we don't want to, it's all about Willie Lynch. It's called the Lynch game. We take the mind and you keep the body. Take the mind. Keep the body.
Come on.
You keep the body and you move the men, you make money. You don't make money off of smart people. You make money off of the ignorant, because ignorance is bliss. So now, after I've had my soapbox, this Santuary Saturday, this is the Poets Revival again.
Yeah.
We're reviving minds in this community. This sister has a vision, and I'm with her all the way. And today is Martin Luther King's birthday, and I have to do whatever it is that I need to do to keep this man's dream alive, because he lynched himself for me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be sitting here. I couldn't say what I wanted to say. I couldn't drink from a water fountain. I couldn't go in that bathroom if it wasn't for him. And I'm not going to allow America or anybody else to turn him into something safe, because King was a revolutionary like Jesus. They lynched Jesus just like they lynched King.
Come on.
That's what we do to revolutionaries. Either you're going to be lynched spiritually, physically, emotionally, or economically, but we're going to lynch your ass because you are not conforming to the status quo. Coming to the stage, you're building energy. With this young brother, he is from Texas University. He's one of the
Wow. All right. Man, it's hard to go after Arelia because she just set the bar like so high, and I'll be like, hey, I don't know what to do now. But it's cool. I'm trying to make it happen. This flyer that I'm holding in my hand is for an event next Saturday. It's gonna be right here, Secret Word Cafe. It's gonna be the OCOF launch party. I was faced last year with the tragic death of my little cousin, Arelia Albert, who was beaten to death walking home from school in Chicago. This has been a trying moment for both myself and the rest of the family, because in Chicago right now we're dealing with the murder trial for the young man who's done it. It was all over national news and everything. So what we have done is actually started up a non-profit organization called OCOF, Our Children, Our Future. This organization recognizes the violence that's going on not only in Chicago, because it's not just in Chicago, but it's right here in Houston as well. It's right there in D.C., it's right there in New York, it's right there in L.A. So we have to just not recognize what's going on in one city, but in all cities. So we started up the organization last year in Chicago. This year we're starting it up right now in Houston. And that's what the launch party is for. It's $6 pre-sale tickets, $8 at the door. All proceeds are going to a scholarship fund for OCOF. We're giving away 2 scholarships this year. Both scholarships $1,500 each. One going to a deserving student who has a 3.0 GPA or above. Another one going to a student who may not have the highest GPA, but worked hard in their last year to pull their grades up.
All
So they can try to attend college and everything like that.
Right.
So we want to make sure they get recognized.